Hello. Hi, you guys. Good evening. Happy Friday. Let's see if I can see these comments. Sometimes I can't see them. Okay. So, sometimes I can't see the comments on here, you guys. So, just forgive me now because I don't know. I know there's people on, but I can't see the comments sometimes, so oh well, maybe that's a good thing. Ha! Everything happens for a reason, right? So, okay. I'm doing my kind of vlog for my day 3, 4, and 5 of my 90-day transformation, spiritual, mind, body. And it's just my journey, but I want to share with you guys because the last couple days has been so eye-opening as to so many things. And so I may not get to everything, but you know, I named this Be Brave to Be You for a few reasons. So I just want to say, first of all, you know, it's so important to just remember that you are amazing just the way you are right now. And I'm saying this to myself too. I am amazing right now just the way that I am. That way I have no expectations, but I can still grow in that. So, okay, so where should I start? I want to talk about your environment and what you choose to surround yourself with. And I had to take a really hard lesson on this the last couple days. And this is in regards to negative people around you, negative energies that are coming at you. And you know, the bottom line is that you don't have to take it. I mean, it's just the bottom line. You know, I went through a phase where I have a few people that suck the life out of me, drain my energy. I just, you know, it's those people that you see, you know, their name come up on a phone call and you're like, oh, no, you know, it's those people. I went through a phase just recently where I was like, okay, you know, I'm going to push them outside of my circle, but I'm not going to completely shut them off because I love them. And you know, it's not me to do that. It's so hard for me to even do that. And, but, you know, it's incredible how that negativity finds a way to get to you no matter what. And so, this has been my whole life, you know, and it's very hurtful. And if you're a sensitive person, emotional, you know, I'm a Cancer, so hello, I'm super emotional, and I have a lot of positive energy going out there. And when that negativity finds that positive energy, it just wants to drain it, you know, because really all it's trying to do is get up to the positive itself. So really, when you see these people, that's why you can love them still, because you know that really, even though they have so much negative energy, all they're trying to do is like climb up the ladder to be at the positive with you. But they don't know the right way to do it. So it's like just sucking your positive energy out of you. And instead of realizing what is hurt inside of them that is causing them to act like this. So really, that's all that it is a reflection of themselves as to exactly where they're hurting, where they're sad, where they've been pained. And unfortunately, the person who is sucking the positive energy out of someone, the person who has the positive energy, they really cannot help that person. You know, it needs to come from another source, but that is how you're able to say, you know, no, I love you, but I'm no longer going to accept this anymore. You know, and you just have to close off all of those roadways, and but still, you know, forgive them and love them, because that heals you in your heart. And just know that it's not out of malice. You know, they're not trying to hurt you. They're just trying to pull themselves above water, if that makes sense. So, you know, like I said, I had left open a couple doorways to some of that negativity. I just can't see comment. Okay. And it was still able to find a way to me. And what happens to me when that stuff comes through is I try not to absorb that energy, but at the same time, there are times where it just happens and I have to kind of just shut down. And that's not a way to live, you know? So it's almost like I came to this realization that I have to reclaim my power back. And I have to not allow anyone to suck my energy from me. Actually, when I think back, it's happened my entire life. And that's why I would have like 2 or 3 really awesome days, and then like 2 or 3 days where I couldn't deal with the world, because I didn't know how to guard myself from that. And it's not to say anything like I'm isolating, but there are ways to deal with people who are trying to pull your energy from you without having to isolate. So, but one of the things that I have realized is it's usually the people that is the closest to you. And that is why it is so hard to let go of those attachments. But, you know, you have to love yourself first, because if you don't, then you're no good to anybody. You know, and I have 3 kids, so it's like, you know, okay, I've let this go on long enough because I really wanted to help. But unfortunately, for those ones that are so close to you, you cannot be their source of help. So I just had to, you know, cut the attachments, sever the cords. Some people call it soul ties, but actually not just do it in the spiritual realm, but you have to do it in the natural realm until the natural catches up with the spiritual, vice versa. Sorry, the spiritual connects to the natural. And then, you know, once they have come more up to the light without having to suck your energy dry, you can come back and be, you know, together. But it takes them healing. So that was my last couple days, was really coming to that realization for myself. And it's amazing because I have spent, you know, 38 years really suffering from that. And I always thought it was something wrong with me, you know. Isn't that how we do it? We think that there's something wrong with us. And it took me realizing that I have, you know, and we all do, but just this positive energy, but you have to know how to react to those who are not there yet. You know what I mean? They're not there yet. And so they will drain you. And, you know, that has to do a lot with control and manipulation. And I just kind of want to go on this a little bit because I think it's so important. Even for myself, like, no one is immune to not doing it. And that's the thing, is like, not one of us is better than the other person. We are all the same. And that is part of where we get it twisted, you know? It's because all of these outside influences, I mean, material items, money, relationships, TV, video, I mean, just all of it builds us up in different ways to believe that these outside influences make us better than the other person some way, somehow. And it's hilarious because they don't. You know, it's just that simple. They don't. We are all actually exactly the same inside, but we let all these things kind of hurt us, and then we build up walls, and then we get to a point where we're just a ball of negative energy because we don't know, we're just trying to survive from that point of all the hurt, all the pain, all the sadness. And so we're literally just, we put on all these masks, you know, pretend to be somebody that we're actually not. And trust me, I have done this so much. Put on these fake, you know, oh, hey, yeah, I'm so wonderful. Everything is so good. Yes, look at me. Ooh. But then really inside, you know that it's like, you know that you're lying when you're saying those words. It's like inside you're like, okay, I don't know, like I'm pretending, but it's hard to come to the realization that you are. It's crazy. I know it's crazy. But this has been my spiritual journey for the last 3 years, and I know that I'm on the way up through the last of it. That's why I'm so excited for this 90 days, because it's like really getting back to my true self. And that is with, you know, taking my It Works products because they make me feel amazing. And but also, that's the spiritual part of it, is knowing what affects your positivity. And that is what is going to affect every aspect, everything around you. It's like it starts from in here and then it just goes outwards. So if you're absorbing that is from other people's ideas and thoughts and of who you are, and you're absorbing that, and that's not who you are, then it's like a conflict in yourself, and you start warring inside your mind, and that in turn affects your body, affects your health, you know. And so for me, this is getting back to that optimum state of wellness, spirit, mind, and body. And so I'm just so excited because I really feel already the transformation in myself. And, you know, even though I didn't come on the last 2 days, that's okay. I had to take those 2 days and figure out what was going on, because again, it was a whole bunch of warring going on in myself. And so, you know, I just want to be really open and honest, and that way, you know, if you're going through similar things, you can heal as well. So I want to just talk about control and manipulation a little bit. And you know, we all do it, but it's recognizing when we're doing it, because it is so damaging. And here's how I gauge it. You know, we can control our thoughts, our behaviors, and our feelings, but we cannot control anyone else's. So, whenever something negative comes at me or in front of me, and I want to react in some way because I want to control that situation right then. You know, I don't want anyone else to hear this, whatever it is. like even just fighting back, like, that's not true, blah, 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 that's not right, whatever. And trying to control how other people think and feel. So that's how I gauge it. And it's very tricky thing. I'll tell you a little story of my son recently, and this really makes it so clear. Because it's like, when you say things to people, you may have honestly the best intentions, but behind it is truly a voice of controlling or manipulating how that person views a situation. And that in and of itself, you trying to twist how a person views something, is so damaging. So I'll give an example. My son is in first grade and he's at school, and I'm not going to name names, but there was an adult who, little backstory. My son literally was born with a full mohawk head of hair, okay? And that's him. Like, it's seriously who he is. And he loves it. And okay, so cool. Let him have a mohawk, because that's him being him. He was born with a mohawk, full mohawk. Okay. So he finally started wearing a mohawk to school, and every day, he had this like confidence about him, and he just knew that he'd finally put his big boy pants on, and that was him. And he was going to school like, yeah, look at me. And one day, there was an adult who told him that maybe he was getting some of his bad behavior marks because his hair stands out in the class. So it's almost like he stands out. And I didn't know this for a while, but all of a sudden, he started completely, like, he wanted to shave his head off, or his hair off, and he wanted to wear his hair flat and to the side. And I was like, that's not, my kid. What's going on? And he would just tell me, I don't want to wear it anymore, and just be like, kind of, and I could tell that he was like upset, but he wouldn't really tell me. So finally, one day he told me, and see, he told me what that one sentence from that one adult said to him. And he associated in his mind that because he had a mohawk, he was bad, because his bad behavior and his mohawk, he associated that as bad. And so then he thought he was bad. And so he didn't want to wear the mohawk because it would make him bad. I seriously died. I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Like, he didn't even want to be himself, and he was sad. You could see it every day. And I was just, it made me realize how powerful words are. And, I'm sure that adult probably was just thinking to tell him that, maybe if he didn't stand out so much, his behavior wouldn't stand out so much. It probably was with good intention, but yet it produced in him a feeling that he was bad. So it's like the words that we say to people, and this is what I'm trying to do now, is I think if someone told me that, how would it make me feel? Because that's how it produces, good or bad feelings. So I knew that it produced these horrible feelings in him. And so I just had to counteract that as quick as I could and told him, buddy, you are amazing just the way you are with your mohawk. And, if we were all the same, if everyone was the same, this world would be so boring, And it's like, you were born with a mohawk. And I told him that. And I was like, that's who you are. And that's okay. And that is good. And I was like, don't let anyone ever tell you that because of your hair, or whatever, that it's not good. And see, I think this is what is happening so much is so many people have really good intentions of saying or pushing their truth onto others, by words, like if someone, for instance, is telling you that, oh, well, I love you so much, but, maybe this isn't so good for you anymore. Or maybe this is not how, like whatever it is, it's like, does it produce a good feeling in the other person or a bad feeling in the other person? So that's how I'm watching my words. And I try to remember that words mean different things to different people. That's so important too. And one word may actually mean the same, like different words have one meaning. It's crazy, but I just try to follow along that pattern that I'm like, how would that make that person feel? Would it give them, fear? Would it make them feel unbelief or doubt? And I just go from there. And if it does, then I just reword what I would like to convey to that person. The message is truly love, but I just reword it so that it produces a feeling of love, if that makes sense. So that's been my huge revelation the last couple days. I've been drinking my It Works Hydrate, but I did not do any exercise the last 2 days because, like I said, I was in a negative place. I was feeling down. And you guys, it's so important. It's time to reclaim your energy, your power, your love, your joy, and even with my son, it's like, it is okay and it is good to be you, and that's why I say that every time just starting out, because it's so true and it's so important that that you're amazing exactly the way that you are, because it's unique, because you're different, because you're you. And so I just want to encourage anyone who maybe similar things have happened, and it has happened to me, and I accepted that as truth and then changed myself to be more like a certain way, and it wasn't good. I could feel inside I was dying and I was hurting because I'm not like you, and we're as unique as a fingerprint. That's how unique our gifts are, our personality. Inside we are all light, God's light. We're all inside. But it is realizing that. But on the outside, those outside layers, we're all unique as a fingerprint. And you know what? That is amazing. So I encourage you that if anyone has ever made you feel like exactly who you are is not okay, or is bad, or is evil, or what you're doing is not good, I just want you to throw that out right now. Just throw it out and just say, you know what? I loved doing that. I loved what I was doing, and that's okay. And you know what? I'm going to go back and do it because it brings me joy and happiness. And I don't care what anybody says anymore. So I hope that you be brave enough to be you. So I'm just, God is amazing. We all have different names for God, and it's so funny because I have been on a spiritual journey with God, and He has literally showed me that I have actually called Him a few different names, and He's the same God. It's like amazing, He is the creator of the heavens and the earth and everything in it. And He was like, well, Angela, you were calling me this back then, and then you were calling me this then. But He's like, you see, I'm the same. And I'm just amazed by how wonderful our Creator truly is. And He's everything. He's magical, supernatural, awesome, crazy good. And we are all together one. We are all His children. And I think when we can finally come to that realization and we go, wait, they're calling Him, this, and these people are calling Him this, but it's the same God. He is the creator. Oh my gosh. Wow. What have I been tripping on? It's amazing. He didn't create us all to be the same. He created us all to be unique, live in the place where we're supposed to live, follow what we're supposed to follow, be who we're supposed to be, and that is good. So, have a great Friday night, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. All right, bye.